So hi guys, good afternoon to all of you. Let's start the discussion of the test happened yesterday, that test number 3. Okay, so without wasting the time, let's start. Let's start with question number 1. So what is saying in the question number 1? It is saying that if the mass of M, capital M, area A dash, velocity V are chosen as a fundamental units, then the coefficient of viscosity will be. So guys, here in the problem, it is asked about that questions of the dimensional analysis. What is the coefficient of viscosity? So as we know that how coefficient of the viscosity is defined, that viscous force, we know that viscous force that can be written as coefficient of viscosity into area into velocity times gradient. Correct? We know that this is the formula of the viscous force due to fluid layer. Okay. Here, if you want to find out what is the unit of viscosity, so we can say simply this can be written as kg divided over meter into second. What is the representation of kg? We can say that is the capital M in the dimensional form. What is the meaning of meter? That is the length L and the time T. Okay. Here the fundamental answers are given in the terms of M, V and A dash. If you want to convert in this unit, so we can say what is the meaning of V? That is the velocity L T minus 1. Okay. And what is the meaning of area? That is L square. And what is the meaning of mass? That we can say that M equal to this way we can represent the mass. So here we can say that in order to convert into given form, we have to multiply with L and divide over L. So we can say how this is formed. This will become L square and this will become LT minus 1. So we can say this can be written as M, L square, this can be written as area dash, and LT minus 1, this can be written as velocity. So option A is the correct one. Let's move for the next problem. In the next problem, it is saying that a particle of mass m, that is initially velocity of particle is given that ui cap plus 2uj cap collide with another particle 3m, which is at rest. After the collision, they will stick together and combined system is moving with a given velocity. Okay, we have to find out the incorrect statement. Guys, in such type of question, we have to see what is asked in the problem. Here we have to find out incorrect answer. To just apply the conservation of momentum, and we know that with the help of conservation of linear momentum, what we can say here, we can say here the initial momentum of system must be equal to final momentum of system. So here the particle m having the velocity that is given ui cap plus 2uj cap. And the second particle is at rest, so we can say the initial momentum of second particle is 0. Then what is the final momentum? The final, we can say if this is the mass m particle and this is the 3m mass particle that is initially at rest. After the collision, the system mass will become 4m and the velocity is given here that vi cap plus v dash j cap. So here we can say that 4m written as vi cap plus v dash j cap. I hope this is clear. Okay, what we have to do here, just compare the velocity parameter, that coefficient of I cap and j cap. So we can say that here 4mv, this can be written as mu. So v equal to nothing but u upon 4. In similar manner, if we compare here that 4mv dash, this must be written as that 2 times mv. Okay, so here we can say that the v dash here written as vy2. So v equal to v uy4 and v dash equal to vy2. So here we can establish a relation. We can also say here what is the value of which value is correct one. V dash equal to vy2. Yeah, this is the correct. V dash equal to vy2. If this is correct, then this is not possible. Which one is the incorrect? Option B is the incorrect here. And the remaining option we can verify that is the correct one. Let's move for the next problem. In the next problem, that is the concept of the hydrogen spectrum. What is given here? It is given here if the wavelength of the alpha line of Lyman series in a hydrogen atom is the lambda. Find the wavelength of the beta line in Paschen series. How we can solve such type of problem, beta? We can say what is the concept of the alpha line. First of all, I am talking about this is the if this is the hydrogen spectrum and this is the ground state n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to 3, n equal to 4. I hope this is clear. If the energy we can say that if any energy that incident in n equal to 1 in following energy higher state. So we can say such type of series is known as the Lyman series. This is our Lyman series. I hope this is clear. If the energy that incident from just above of the ground state, the first this is known as the alpha series, alpha of Lyman series. If the energy that incident from n equal to 3 to n equal to 1, then this is known as the beta line of Lyman series. So here we can understand the meaning of alpha and beta. So here what is given here, the wavelength that given in the form of lambda. What is the relation of the wavelength beta? We know that if our hydrogen-like atom, 1 upon lambda that can be given as Rz square, 1 upon n1 square minus 1 upon n2 square. I hope everybody know this formula. Okay. So if we want to write down this formula for Lyman series and Lyman and alpha, so what we can say, hydrogen atom Z equal to 1 R. What is the value of n1 here? This is no for the alpha line. So we can say here n1 equal to 1 here and n2 equal to 2 here. This will equal to 1 by 4. Okay, beta. If we solve this, what we will get here, that 3r upon 4, right? In the similar manner, if I am talking about for the Paschen series, so Paschen series, we know that if I am talking about the Paschen series, if this is the n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to 3. Energy that we can say incident from the higher than n equal to 3. So we can say this is our Paschen series. So here, if energy that incident from n equal to 4 to n equal to 1, so we can say this is alpha line of Paschen series. Alpha line of Paschen series. If this incident from n equal to 5 to n equal to 3, this is known as the beta line. Okay. So here it is asked about the beta line of Paschen series. So what is the n2 here? n2 will equal to 5. And what is n1 for Paschen series? That will fix n1 equal to 3. So again we can write down this formula for the Paschen series of the beta line, that are 1 upon n1 square, that 3 square, that is 9. 1 upon n2 square, that is the 25. If we solve this, we will get what will happen here, that is the 16r divided over 25 into 9. Okay. And it is given that this value is known as the 1 upon lambda. So if we put the value of r from this equation in equation number 2, we will get correct answer. What is the correct wavelength for the beta line of the Paschen series? So here we can solve that. The correct wavelength that we can write down here, 25 into 9 divide over 16 into r. If we put the value of r from the equation number 1, what is the value of r here, beta? We can put the value of r, that 4 upon lambda into 3. 4 into 3, and we can say this will equal to lambda. So if we solve this, this can be written as in the form of option C. So option C is the appropriately correct. I hope this is clear for everyone. What is the concept of the alpha line and beta line for different type of series? This is the question that is asked from the communication system, and what is asked here, what is the equation of the modulated wave? So guys, first of all, such type of generally questions asked from this system. So we have to know the meaning of what is, how we can write down the equation of the modulated wave. So if we want to write down the equation of the modulated wave, the equation of modulated carrier wave that can be given in such a manner, we have to always remember that is the function of time, and this equation that can be written as, say here, this is the AC, that carrier wave, we can say this is the amplitude of the carrier wave, plus we can say this is the message AM sine omega mt, plus here we can say that is sine omega ct. Here we have to understand the meaning. What is the AC, what is the AM, what is the omega c. So here beta AC is known as the amplitude of the carrier wave. What is AC? Amplitude of carrier wave. Amplitude of carrier wave. What is the meaning of AM? Amplitude of the message wave. Amplitude of the message wave. So here in this formula, we just put the value what is given in the problem. Omega c is nothing but that is the angular frequency of the carrier wave. Carrier wave frequency, we can say omega c. And omega m, that is the frequency of the message wave. Okay. So here in the problem, what is given? This formula is also written in this manner. If you take common AC here, this can be written as AC 1 plus AM upon AC, that sine omega mt sine omega ct into t. Okay guys, so sir, what is AM upon AC here? As question it is asked that K, what is the correct option regarding the carrier modulated wave equation? What is the modulation index beta? So if I am talking about the modulation index, the ratio of AM upon AC, this is known as the equation of modulation ratio. So here in the question, we can say that this is given that 40 volt and 20 volt. What is the 20 volt? It is given that modulated amplitude of the carrier wave. This is the frequency and this is the peak voltage. So here we can say peak voltage is given for the carrier wave. So what is the peak voltage? That is, we can say AC that can given here, that is the 40, and frequency that we can say FC that can be given here, that is 1000 kilohertz. If we convert into hertz, we can say that omega c can be written as 2 pi f, 2 pi into 10 raised to power 6 hertz, right? So what is the AM here? AM that can be written as 20 volt, okay? And in similar manner, omega m, we can say 2 pi FM. If we put the value of FM here, that is the 10 kilohertz, it is 10 into 10 raised to power 3 hertz. Okay. So if we put all these value here, we will get correct answer. And what is the correct and the answer in particular part? We will get that option D is the right one. Okay, I hope this is clear. How we can solve? We just put the value in this equation and we will get correct answer. Let's move for the next question. The next question, that is again the application of the resistance. Here a composite type of rod system is given, having the length is given is L, and it is asked in the problem if we connected a battery between A and B. It means current is flowing from A to B. Current is flowing in this direction. Okay. So if current is flowing in this direction, so what we can say that there are two types of resistance. If we see this diagram in the side view, so we can say one resistance that is corresponding to smaller rod. Okay, that is the one resistance. Say this is the R1, and the another resistance that is corresponding to outer rod, right? That is the R2, and we know that if terminal voltage that is applied here, that is the same, then both the resistance are connected in parallel. If both the resistance are connected in parallel, then what is the net equivalent? So we can say here R equivalent that can be written as guys R1 R2 divided over R1 plus R2. Okay. So what is the R1 here? R1 we know that the rho L upon A. Okay. So what is the rho given for the rod one? This is the cross sectional area. that current penetrate this cross-sectional area, and the resistivity of material, that is rho1. Length is L, and cross-sectional area, we know that this is the square cross-sectional area, that is the A square. In similar manner, if you want to write down the resistance for the rod 2, what is the rod 2? We can say this section is rod 2. Okay. So what is the length that current has to travel in rod 2? So we can say the length is same as previous one. And what is the resistivity of the second material? That is the rho 2. What is the cross-sectional area? That is the annular area. Annular area means, sir, it means that we can say that interface area, annular area, that can be written as 2a square minus a square. We can say that is the 3a square. Put the value here, 3a square. And if we put this value here, we can say what is our final answer here, that R equivalent, that R1, R2. What is the value of R1 here? That we can say rho 1 L upon A square and rho 2 L upon 3A square. Divide over, if we solve this, rho 1 L upon A square, rho 2 L upon 3A square. If just simply solve this equation, we will get correct answer. And what is the correct answer in this problem? That option number C is the right one. Right? I hope this is clear. What is the concept behind this problem and why we chosen two resistance in parallel? Because the terminal voltage across both the rods is same. Okay, beta. Let's move for the next question. The next question that is again asked from the electromagnetic wave section. In this problem, what is given that a point source is surrounded by vacuum and emit an electromagnetic wave, and the frequency of wave is given here. Okay, the power emitted is given that 15 watt. Okay, so we must know one thing in wave also. Whenever a point source is given, then what is the distance? Intensity at a distance r from this source. Suppose this is the point source. If we want to find out the intensity at distance r, so we can say that intensity is always written as in such a manner, and we have to know what is the formula, that power upon 4 pi r square. That is the spherical type of wavefront is formed. We know from the wave. Okay, this is the formula of intensity. Talking about the electric field, how we can associate electric field here, beta? We have to know one formula. What is the formula of the intensity in the terms of electric field energy? We know that electric field energy is always written as half epsilon E square. This is known as the energy field density. Okay, it means energy per unit volume. If we multiply here speed of light, so this will become intensity. We can also check this formula by the unit. The unit of energy density is the joule per meter cube, correct? And the unit of speed of light is meter per second. If we verify this, what will happen here? This will become joule per second divide over meter square. This is nothing but watt, and that is the power. Power upon area, that is known as the intensity. Okay, beta. We just put the value here and we will get easily answer. One thing we also see here, this is nothing but this is the magnitude of the electric field. So what we can say here, in place of I, put the value P upon 4 pi r square, that is half epsilon E naught square, that is the amplitude of electric field into C. So what is the value of electric field here? We can say here, this value will become 2 pi divide over 4 pi r square epsilon C, and that square root. If we put all the value here, we will get answer. What is the power that is given, beta? 15 watt. What is value of 4 pi epsilon? 1 upon 4 pi epsilon, that is given 9 into 10 raised to power 9. So we can put here 9 into 10 raised to power 9. Okay. And R, that is given 15 kilometer. That if we convert in meter, that 15 into 15 10 raised to power 6. Okay. And speed of light, that 3 into 10 raised to power 8. So here we will get value of electric field. And what is value we will get here? If we saw this, we will get here 2 into 10 raised to power minus 3 volt per meter. Here it is asked to find out the value of electric field in the terms of 10 raised to power minus 3. So what is the coefficient of this? The coefficient is 2. So what is our answer? We can say our answer is 2 is the right answer. So we have to understand such type of tricky question that can be formed, and if we know the formula, we can easily apply it. Okay. Sometimes the simple unit and dimension method that help you to identify which formula is going to be applied at a given situation. The next question, again, this is a very easy problem. Here the speed of sound is asked. We know that what is the speed of sound? That is nothing but gamma RT upon molecular weight or molar mass. Okay. So while a particular sound, it is given that the velocity of sound is proportional to under root temperature. Okay. And one thing we have to know that whenever we are going to use temperature, always put in Kelvin. What is the value of T1 here? That is the 300 Kelvin. If we convert this Kelvin, that is the 300 Kelvin. And corresponding to this temperature, the sound speed that Vs1 is given 340. Correct. What is the speed of sound? That is 90 degrees Celsius. So what is the value of 90 degree? If we add 273, we will get 263 Kelvin. We have to find out Vs2. Just we can say Vs2 upon Vs1, that is nothing but beta. We can write down 263 divided over 300. And this we can write down Vs2 is equal to Vs1. What is the Vs1 beta? 340 into, if we put the value of 260, so this will equal to 1.21. If we divide by 3 and 1.21 nothing but beta, this can be, we can write down 11 into 10 raised to power minus 1. If we multiply, we will get 374 meter per second. That is option C is the right one. Next, that is again an easy problem, that is the application of the fluid property. If we increase the temperature, then what happened with viscosity? If we increase the temperature, then the viscosity of liquid will decrease. Then the viscosity of liquid will decrease. Why decreases, beta? Because we know that viscosity is happened because of the cohesive force of the molecules. If we increase the temperature, the bond will become weaker, and we can say after if we apply greater temperature, the liquid will get into vapor. So we can say that on increasing the temperature, viscosity decreases, the bond will break. The tendency of bond to become break. Okay, so here we can say viscosity decreases. At the same time, surface tension is also that is due to interatomic force. So surface tension also decreases. Surface tension also decreases. Sometimes we also know that when we want to wash our cloth, we use hot water so that it can easily remove the dust particle from our cloth. What happens on increasing the temperature? The surface tension of the dust molecule with water, that is decreases. Okay, so what is answer here, beta? Both is decreases. Both is decreases. But at the same time, if the viscosity is asked on the increasing the temperature, what is the viscosity for the gas? Then your answer will reverse. Because in the gas, beta, what is the region of viscosity in gas? That is the molecular collision. That is molecular momentum transfer. We can say molecular momentum transfer in the case of gas. In the case of gas. So if we increase the temperature, randomness increases, collisions increases, so viscosity of gas increases. So always keep in mind when it is talk about liquid, then viscosity decreases on increasing temperature and vice versa for the gas. I hope this is clear. Let's move for the next problem. Again, this is the beautiful problem that is asked from the kinematics section. Here it is given that suppose two trains are given, beta. If two trains is given, suppose this is the train 1 and this is the train 2. Okay, both are approaching to each other. Train 1 having the speed that is 100 km per hour train B having speed 50 kilometer per hour, and initially they are at separated at a distance 300 kilometer. A bird that is initially at train A start moving toward the train B, and the continuously bird after reaching the train B, then again it start towards the train A and continuously complete its motion until train 1 and train 2 just the condition where the separation between train will become zero or they collide. So what he asked, what is the distance covered by blade? How we can solve, how we can process such type of problem? When there are two or more than two body moving simultaneously, then we have to apply the concept of relative velocity. What is the concept of relative velocity? In the concept of relative velocity, we have to make one body at rest and we have to analyze the whole situation. If we make body 1 is at rest, then what we have to do? We have to give the velocity of body 1 to velocity of body 2 in opposite direction. So initially this have 50 kilometer per hour. If we make body 1 at rest, it means we want to calculate the velocity of body 2 with respect to body 1. We want to calculate velocity of body 2 with respect to body 1. Okay, this is nothing but v2 minus v1. In order to get, we have to add the velocity of body 1 in opposite direction of velocity of body 2, that is 100 kilometer per hour. It means body 1 is at rest. Yes, sir. It means body 1 cannot move. Yes, sir. Then what is the distance? 300 kilometer. If body 2 want to collide with body 1, then what amount of distance that body 2 have to cover? That 300 kilometer. And what is the net speed? That is the 100 plus 50, 150 kilometer per hour. Then what is the time taken by body 2 so that it will reach to body 1? We can say the total distance 300. What is the speed of body 2 with respect to body 1? That is the 150. Okay. Then 2 seconds is time taken when two body collide to each other. In that interval of time, what is the distance covered by bird? Distance covered by bird. So we can say in 2 seconds of interval, distance covered by bird beta, we can easily say speed of bird that is given 200 kilometer per hour, and here if we say that this value is not 2 seconds, that is 2 hour. Yeah, that is the calculation mistake. So this will equal to 400 kilometer. So we can say in 2 hours of duration, bird will cover 400 kilometer distance. That option B is the right one. I hope this is clear. In first phase, we have to find out what is the time when two body collide. For that, we have to use the concept of the relative velocity. Once we will get the time, at that time, what is the distance covered by bird? We simply multiply with the speed of bird. Okay. Let's move for the next question. That directly formula based question beta. What is the minimum and maximum intensity in the interference? We know that the formula of the minimum intensity, that is nothing but under root I1 under root I2 whole square. What is the formula of I maximum beta? We have to keep such type of formula under root I1 under root I2 whole square. It is given that I1 is nothing but I0 and I2 is 25 I0. If we have to find out the ratio, just divide and put the value. So this will equal to beta 1 and under root 25 this will become beta. We can say if we put this value, this will become 5. Okay. Square divide over, this will equal to 1 plus 6, 1 plus 5 square. Okay, I0 and I0 cancel out here, and this result we can say that 16 upon 36, and if we solve that 4 upon 9, option B is the right one. So this is the important formula. We have to keep in mind what is the I maximum, I minimum, A maximum, A minimum. Again, this is question that asked from the magnetic section. What is the time spent by photon inside the magnetic field beta? So one thing it is very much clear when such type of question is come in the problem. we have a conceptual clarity. What is the dependency order? How two equations that how two equations are related to each other? Okay, beta. So in particular problem, beta, it is asked that if a particle move in a circular path and leaves a magnetic field after completing quarter of circle. First of all, we have to know that what is the formula. If a particular particle, charge particle complete a complete circle in a perpendicular magnetic field with a speed v, then formula is nothing but 2 pi m upon qb. Okay. If we want to find out the time for the quarter circle, then what will become formula? We have to multiply here theta upon 2 pi. For quarter circle, we have to put theta, theta pi by 4. In this equation, what we can comment beta? Here the time for either full circle, either quarter circle, either half circle, that it does not depend upon the velocity, that does not depend upon the radius. This is very much clear. So we can say that our time that is independent of velocity. Time is independent of velocity or speed. So which option is going to be correct here? Option C is the appropriately correct answer. Let's move. That is the again very easy problem. Beta, we can say from plane mirror. Here this angle is 25 degree. We know that whenever such type of question is come, we must draw the normal. First of all, this is the normal that is perpendicular to surface. So this angle will become 65. Again, this is the 65 beta. And we can say this is normal of the plane mirror M2. If this is the 65, then again this angle will become 25. If this angle is 25, so this is by alternate angle, this will become 25. Then what is the total angle theta here? That is nothing but beta 25 into 2. We can say the correct answer is the 50 degree. तो देख रहे हो आप इस टाइप के क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में आते हैं. अगर हमें बेसिक्स थोड़ा सा भी क्लियर है तो हम इजीली क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. Again, this question is come from the beta thermodynamic section, and in this problem we have to find out work done by gas in one complete cycle. First of all, whenever a closed loop is given, then we have to decide the loop is either clockwise or anti-clockwise. If loop is clockwise, then work done in the complete cycle is always positive. This is the concept. If the loop is anti-clockwise direction, then we can say this work transfer will become negative. So we can say in this case work done by the system, in this case work done on the system, This is the concept we have to know, that on the system. Here we can say work done by the system. Okay beta. So beta, in this case, what is the area? That area of loop. This area of loop, how we can find out this area beta? We just apply the concept. I am not going to say beta you always consider that this is a circle. This is not always happen. So write down the formula, just divide into two segments. This one is the major axis, suppose, and say this is the minor axis. Then what is the area beta? Pi a into b. Write down the formula in this term. Suppose in this case, what is the a? If we say this is our a, this is our 2a, that is the major axis. What is the value of a here beta? We can say the value of a is 6 minus 2, that is the 3 liter. 3 liter. What is the value of semi-minor axis? That is total gap is given here 6 minus 10 minus 6, that is the 4 atm. What is the b beta? 2 atm. Here unit is given also in the term of atm and liter, so there is no need to convert. Write down the correct area of loop, that pi into 3 into 2. Sorry, this will become 6 minus 2, that is 6 minus 2 equal to 4, 4 by 2, that is 2. So what happened here beta? Pi 2 into 2, that we can say 4 pi liter into atm. Suppose that is the coincident. Here the a and b are equal, that's why it is a circle form. If here in place of 10 atm, 8 atm are given, then what we have to do? Again we have to find out this gap, that 8 minus 6, that will happen 2. Then we have to find out the semi-minor axis, that will equal to 1. Then again apply the formula of pi ab. So I hope this is helpful for you. How we can proceed if perfect circle is not formed. Okay. So option A is the right one here. And one thing also we learn in this problem, when we consider the area is positive or negative by seeing the sense of loop, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Let's move further. Next. In the next question, beta, it is asked that a rod is make a equilibrium at an angle 60 after application of this force. What is the meaning of equilibrium, beta? If somebody asks to me, sir, equilibrium, so what is the meaning of mechanical equilibrium? Sir, first one, the net force on the system is zero, and the second meaning that the net torque at any point of the system is zero. If the two conditions satisfy simultaneously, then we can say system is at equilibrium. So here we can say that at some moment of force F is applied, then we have to find out what is the value of this force. So how we can proceed in this problem, beta? Whenever hinge point is given, always think to take the torque about hinge. Okay, because the reaction of hinge passing through hinge point, so it means there is no torque of hinge reaction about the hinge point itself. Okay, that is the clue. Whenever hinge point is given, always try to find out torque, or they try to conjure momentum, angular momentum about the hinge point. So we can say if rod is uniform, then mg is acting at the center of mass. So here what is the torque of mg? If we want to calculate, sir, if this body is at equilibrium, it is asked in the problem. So we can say torque net about point H, that is the hinge point, is 0. Okay, so what we can write down here, beta? Mg will create a clockwise torque, F will create a anti-clockwise torque. So we can say mg into perpendicular distance. What is the perpendicular distance, beta? This distance, and this distance is nothing but, beta, L by 2. So this distance we can say that is the perpendicular distance of the force from the line, from the point of application where we have to calculate the torque. So we can say, sir, this is the point of application, a line of action of force. Yes, sir. So what is the perpendicular distance from line of action of force from this point? Sir, this distance is nothing but, beta, we can write down here L by 2 sine 30. Okay, L by 2 sine 30. We can say L by 2 sine 30. Okay. What is the line of action of this force here? This is the line of action. This is the line of action. What is the perpendicular distance from the hinge point? This is the perpendicular distance. So if we take the vertical component, that will equal to, beta, L cos 30. Okay. So here F into L cos 30, that is the root 3 by 2. If we solve this, what is the value of force? We can write down here. So we can write down the value of force here, beta. That is nothing but mg upon 2 root 3. Option C is the right. I hope this is clear and give some basic clarity how we can apply the equation of the torque. Okay. So next question, again it is given that here we have to find out the nature of magnet that we can use on the basis of retentivity and corrosivity. Okay, beta, what is the corrosivity, beta? If corrosivity is more, so we can say that we have to apply more negative magnetizing field, or so that it will remove its magnetic property. Can say that a magnet which having more corrosivity, it is tending toward the permanent magnet. What is the permanent magnet, beta? Permanent magnet means if I have some tendency, if we reduce the value of magnetizing field is 0, after that the material exists some magnetic property, such type of property of material that is known as the corrosivity. If the corrosivity is more, the material is tending to, we can say, permanent magnet character. Yeah, permanent magnet character. Permanent magnet. So here we can say, in which case corrosivity is high? In case of Y, corrosivity is high. If retentivity is more, what is the meaning of this? If retentivity is more, we can see in vertical axis this so retentivity. In the horizontal axis, that is the magnetizing field. here this is the net magnetic field. So here we can say that if we increase the current after the removal of this, the body having some magnetic property, that is the retentivity. If we remove the magnetizing field completely, then it also some. After removing, we have to go in negative direction and we have to apply some negative potential. Then the value of field will become zero. That is known as the corrosivity. So we can say if the retentivity is greater, we can say it is tending to electromagnet. So yes is nothing but electromagnet. And if corrosivity is more, that is a permanent magnet. So X is for electromagnet, Y is for permanent magnet. This question, what is asked that a charge mass enter where electric field in negative Y direction. Okay, here what is given beta? If this is the x-axis, y-axis, here field in acting in downward direction, and what is the value of field? That is the E naught constant, and velocity that is given V naught in x direction and V naught in y direction. Okay, gravity is neglected. We have to find out when the charge particle hit again x-axis. So how we can solve this problem? Here the electric field in applied in downward direction. A charge particle that enter at origin. Okay. So suppose the charge of particle is Q, mass of the charge particle is M. So in which direction force is acting? We can say in the direction of field if the charge is positive. So here force is acting in downward direction. The value of force is nothing but Q E naught. If the divide over mass, this is the acceleration of the particle in Y direction. Okay. In X direction, there is no field, it means there is no force. In X direction, there is no acceleration. So in X direction, charge particle is moved with a constant velocity. Okay. But in the Y direction, the particle is initially moving in upward direction. Okay. But acceleration is acting in downward direction. After some time, the velocity of particle will become zero. Then particle turn back, and particle is also moving in this direction. We have to keep in mind. But only we analyze in vertical direction motion. What will happen, beta? At which time the particle velocity is zero? We can find out the time if we apply the motion equation in y direction. So we can say v y equal to uy plus ayt. Okay. Final speed is zero. Uy beta, that is V naught. What is the acceleration? That is acting in downward direction. Q E naught upon M. What is the time beta? Say this time is t. So here we can calculate the value of time. The value of time equal to beta M V naught upon Q E naught. This is the time when the velocity or speed of particle will become zero. After that, particle will turn back and come towards the x-axis. Then we have to find out, then again the acceleration is constant. So we can say the total time when particle is returned back, that is the 2t. That 2t is the total time. And in this 2t time, what is the distance covered in x direction? Okay, so what is the total time beta? That is the 2t. And 2t that can be written here beta 2mv naught upon qe naught. 2mv naught upon qe naught. So now we have to apply the motion in x direction. What is the distance covered in x direction? So if we apply in x direction, we know that ax equal to 0. We simply write down, sir, displacement or distance in x direction ut plus half at square. What is the initial velocity in x direction? V naught into t, that 2mv naught divided over qe naught. What is the right answer beta? 2mv naught square divided over qv naught. This is the correct, we can say correct answer. Which one is the correct option? We can say here. So after seeing this, we can say option B is the right one. Okay, let's move for the next problem. Here, this is the question of the given, that is the screw gauge, and what is given beta? That is 2 full rotation, that is circular sphere is given 1 mm. If we move 1 complete rotation and when scale move in horizontal direction, that distance is known as the pitch. So for 2 circular rotation, that is the 1 mm. What is the pitch here beta? 152 mm. That is the 0.5 mm is the pitch. Okay. And that is what is the, if you want to find out the least count here, nothing but pitch upon number of division. So what is equal to here, beta? We can say this is the 0.0 mm. Okay. And it is given that 6 division of main scale, that clearly visible 28 division of the circular scale. Okay. Then what is the reading, beta? What is the reading actually? We can say 6 division of main scale. So 6 into pitch, that is the 0.5 plus 28 division of the that vernier scale or circular scale. So 28 division into least count 0.01 plus one another concept that we have to include here, 0 of circular scale lie 4 division below the reference line. What is the meaning of the below the reference line? There is a positive error. If there is a positive error, then we have to minus here at 4 into 0.01. If we solve this with the data, we will get right answer 3.24 mm is the correct answer. That option D is the correct. A car is moving in a circular track. That is again a very easy problem, and we know that in such case friction is provide necessary centripetal force, that is nothing but mv square upon r. If we solve this, we will get the value of necessary friction coefficient, and the value is nothing but 0.1. Just put the value and get the answer. That is again a very good problem. What is given here? If this is a system that is made of the thin uniform rod, and if we release this system from here, then what is the maximum velocity of the? When the maximum velocity of vertex will happen? When maximum velocity, when its potential energy will minimum. When potential energy will minimum? When it reach a lowermost point. So if we consider the situation, if B is reached at lowermost point, say this is the situation when C reaches here, B reaches here. This is the final position of the 3-rod system. Okay, and this is the initial. So what is the concept that we have to apply here, beta? Kinetic initial potential initial equal to kinetic final potential final. Okay, where is no external force involved here, we can apply this concept here, because the work done by net external force is 0 here. There is no type of friction present here. Initially, it is released from rest, kinetic initial is 0. What is the potential initial? That is the 3-rod system. That the total mass acting on the centroid. If this distance is A, so we can say this distance we have to keep in mind. That is nothing but A by 2 root 3. If you consider this is our reference line, then what is the potential energy, beta? That is for the 3 mass system, the total mass, that is the 3m. 3m it can be minus 8 upon 2 root 3. K final, if the complete system is rotating about the hinge point, there is must a rotational kinetic energy half I omega square. What is the final potential energy? In this distance, we have to measure this distance. If this is the A by 2 root 3, then this distance is 2:1. We know that centroid divide in ratio of 2:1. So this distance will equal to 3 mg A by root 3. Okay. So here, if we find out the value of omega, firstly we have to calculate I. What is the I of system about point A? We can say the 2 rod, the point axis passing through point A, the part 2 rod that is acting like as an end point. So what is the moment of inertia about end point? That ml square by 3. There is the 2 rod multiplied by 2. What is the moment of inertia of this rod about this point? Then we have to find out this distance. This distance is nothing but beta root 3 by 2a. Okay, because this is the equilateral triangle. So apply the concept of the parallel axis theorem. The ml square upon 12 moment of inertia about this point, and we have to shift it about this point. Then we can say ma square, that a is nothing but root 3 by 2a square. If we solve this value, what is this value will equal to? If we solve this value will equal to that. If we take LCM 3 by 2 ma square, and if we put the value of I in this equation number 1, we will get value of omega here. Because in the question omega square is formed, so we have to find out value of omega square here. And the value of omega square that we will get here, that is nothing but beta 2g upon under root 3a. If we solve this equation by putting the value of I, and here we have to find out what is the V maximum of point B. We know that V equal to R omega if this rod is hinge about point A. V maximum is nothing but V maximum is square, that is the 2g under root 3a into here we can say that if the multiply with the distance, that is the A, this will value equal to, if you cancel out this, option C is the right one. So this is the very good concept that we have to understand here. Again, this is the easy problem that is the based on the Einstein photoelectric equation, that K maximum we know that is nothing but E minus work function, and K maximum beta that can be written as, in the particular problem, that is the 1 electron volt. So 1 electron volt, and E can be written as SC upon lambda. Okay, and we have to find out the work function here, and SC can be written as 141240. Put the value of lambda 620 and find the value of I here. I think if you put the value of I here, this is nothing but this value will equal to 2 times. Value of I will equal to 1 electron volt. That is the work function. If we will get the value of work function, again apply the formula K maximum. In this case, SC upon lambda, that lambda is the 155. To put the again this value, that 1240 upon 155 minus 1 electron volt. If we solve this value, we will get answer. I think this will equal to 8 electron volt minus 1 electron volt, that is the 7 electron volt is the right answer. Okay, let's move for the next problem. In this question, it is given that the two capacitor, that is the fully charged. What is given? The two capacitor is the fully charged. It means both the capacitor attain its steady state. So what is the charge in this case? If we find out the charge, C into V, that is the 10 microcoulomb. In this case, this charge will be equal to 20 microcoulomb. It is saying that if we change the position of plate, if one is connected with 4, if one is connected with 4, say this is the 1, and here this is the 4. If one is connected with 4, then what happens? And 2 is connected with 3. So we can say one having, say one having the charge of 10 microcoulomb and this having minus 10 microcoulomb. If this is having 20 microcoulomb, so we can say if this is 4, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. The charge on capacitor means charge on positive plate. So what is the charge on 4? That is the, we can say that the charge on 4 is the negative plate, that is the minus 20 microcoulomb. Okay, suppose that after alternating this, the potential, common potential, because both the capacitor are connected in parallel, that is the V. So we can know that this is an isolated system, energy not supplied by external source, total charge must be conserved. What is the total charge in this case? Charge means charge on positive plates. In this case, charge is 10 microcoulomb. In this case, charge is minus 20 microcoulomb. So what is the total net charge? That is the 10 microcoulomb. And that can be written as C. Capacitance of this capacitor is the 1 into V. Capacitance of this capacitor is the 2, that 2 into V. What is the potential? That capacitance is also in microfarad. So we can say that this value will become 10 by 3. So here, what is the answer? 10.3.33 is the right answer. Again, the very good question that is asked here. Here, this surface is the frictionless, and here the friction is provided. If the 1 kg block is moving in the rightward direction, then the friction force acting on this block applied by the planks. We can say friction applied by plank on the block in the leftward direction by a Newton action reaction. We can the same friction, kinetic friction acting on the plank by the block in the forward direction. Then what will going to? The velocity of 12 meters per second of the block is continuously decreasing because force is acting in the opposite direction, and the velocity of this plank is continuously increasing. So there is a time when what will happen, beta? when the velocity of both the plank and the block that will equal to each other. At this time, there is no kinetic friction act. So it is saying that till the relative sliding between them stops, it means both will attain common velocity. If we consider that net horizontal force, then what will happen in the horizontal direction? Because friction is the only force. So total for the system of the plank and the block, the net force on the horizontal direction is 0. If F net on the horizontal direction is 0, so we can conserve the momentum. And what is the initial momentum, beta? That we can say 1 into 12 and the plank is 0. What is the final? Final, they will attain common velocity. So how we can write down? That 5 plus 1 into 6 into V. So here, what is the value of V? That 2 meter per second. That is the final velocity. In this question, it is asked about work done by the friction. What is the meaning of it? Work done by the friction. If we apply the work energy theorem on the block, so what we can say that only the friction force is acting here. Then how we can write down the work done by the friction force is nothing but change in kinetic energy. Change in kinetic energy. Work equal to what is the change in kinetic energy? Half. What is the mass? That is 1. What is the final velocity? That V square. What is the final velocity? We can write down here that 12,144. If we solve this value, what we will get here? Beta minus 70 joule. This is the work done by the friction, and answer we can say that here we have to write down the magnitude only, that is the 70 joule. Let's move for the next problem. Here the ratio that is asked specific heat at constant pressure and constant volume. We must know the formula of Cp, that F by 2 plus 1 into R, and Cv, that is nothing but F by 2R. And we know that if polyatomic gas non-linear, if molecules is non-linear, then degree of freedom that we consider that 6. And here, if the diatomic gas is given, then degree of freedom we can say that is the 5. If we put the value of Cp upon Cv, then what is the value of Cp here? That we can say 6 by 2, that is equal to here. So what is the value after solving this? We will get value of x upon y here. What is the value of x upon y here? We will get beta. If we solve this value, constant volume for the diatomic gas, here after solving we will get correct answer, that is 1.6. Let's move for the next problem. That again it is very easy problem. Here the moving conductor in the uniform magnetic field behaving like as a battery. So we can say if we apply the EMF formula, that nothing but in magnitude VBL. So what is the magnitude of EMF? So we can say velocity that is given to magnetic field is 4. And what is the length? That is 1. That is nothing but 8 volt. So where is the polarity is formed VBL. If we move our right hand in the direction of the velocity, curl our finger in the direction of magnetic, that is magnetic field. So this is the direction of the battery. We can say in this direction battery is formed. So what is the value of current here, beta? That 8 upon 1. 8 ampere is the right answer of current, that is 8 ampere. Next question, it is asked about, that is what is number of nuclei decade. So again we can know that half-life period, how this is defined, that beta, that log 2 upon lambda. Okay, here we put the value of lambda and we will get half-life period in nothing but that is 3 seconds. And if we get what is the number of nuclei that is decayed in 9 seconds, this is nothing but how many number of periods, half-life periods are required, that n equal to 3. So n into t half equal to 9 to n equal to 3. So if we want to find out the number of nuclei that remaining after the 3 half-life, that is nothing but that 2 raised to power n. So here we can find out the value of n, that is nothing but initially 200, and this value will become 175. So how many nuclei that decade we can find out, that n naught minus n, the value will equal to 25. So correct answer we can say here 25 here. Okay. So these are the some homework problem. 2 and 3 problem are homework. You can easily solve. So this is discussion about the test, which type of questions that will ask in upcoming JEE examination, and how we can prepare, how we can revise. The complete solution in the PDF form that will provide after the class. So thank you very much for the attending the